episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. It's going to head to get into it. So, Cedric Ceballos, okay. Cedric Ceballos was a pretty good player for the Phoenix Suns, okay. And so, he was a factor for the Suns in the playoffs, in the first two playoff series versus the Lakers and the Spurs. But then he broke his foot, I believe, in the series against Seattle in the Western Conference Finals versus Seattle. And so the Suns went to the NBA Finals without one of their top players, Cedric Ceballos. Okay. And they lost the series 4-2 versus the Bulls. Okay. Now the question that everybody asks and what people say is, if Cedric Ceballos was healthy and playing in the '93 finals, the Suns would have beat the Chicago Bulls. Okay. I thought about this real hard, okay? I thought about this real hard. I still have to give a very slight edge, okay, to the Chicago Bulls, okay? I still have to give a very slight edge to the Chicago Bulls, okay? I believe the Bulls still win in the head series, 4-2. But if Cedric Ceballos was playing, I'd probably say the Suns don't go down, don't lose the first two games of the series on their home court. Okay. So that's what everybody says. That's what a lot of people think, that if Cedric Ceballos was not injured in the playoffs, that he would have been a factor against the Chicago Bulls. Yes, he probably would. He probably would have been a factor against the Bulls. But regular season, that's a lot more. Regular season is it 82 games in the NBA regular season. The playoffs, you only need about 15 games to win an NBA championship. So there's a heightened sense of urgency from every team, from the first seed down to the 8th seed, okay? And the Phoenix Suns, they learned that the hard way. They learned that the hard way against the Lakers in the first round, when they dropped the first two games at home to the 8th seeded Lakers, okay? They learned that the hard way when they dropped the first two games to the Lakers. And then they got an even more harsh lesson from the defending champions when they dropped the first two games of the home court, on their home court, in the NBA Finals, okay? And Marv Albert with that famous line: the Phoenix Suns have become the first team in NBA history to lose games 1 and 2 at home, okay? And I said this a while back. Okay? Danny Ainge claims that the Suns were better than the Chicago Bulls in the NBA Finals, okay? What do I say? The Phoenix Suns are the worst one seed ever to get to the NBA Finals. You can't have a losing record at home in the playoffs, okay, and be considered better than the Chicago Bulls, okay? The Phoenix Suns were only 6-7 at home during the NBA playoffs in 1993, NBA Finals included. They were only 6-7 at home in the playoffs, okay? So you can't call yourself better than the Bulls and have a losing record at home in the playoffs. The Bulls, meanwhile, they were undefeated in the playoffs at home in 1993, okay? Ironically, the two games they lost at home were to the Phoenix Suns. Go figure, right? Man. Yeah. All right. So, speaking of the Phoenix Suns, they acquired AC Green. Okay, because they viewed AC Green as the missing piece to their championship puzzle. Okay, and so AC Green and Mark West at that time in 1993-94 were the two Iron Men of the league. Okay. Um, by the end of the 1994 season, okay, AC Green was leading the league in consecutive games played, and guess who was number two behind him? His teammate, Mark West, okay? His teammate, Mark West. He ranked second behind AC Green at that time in consecutive games played in 1994, okay? AC Green also played in 83 games in the 1997 season when he was traded to Dallas early in the season in that deal involving Jason Kidd. Okay. Mark West, he also played in 83 games in the 87-88 season, I believe. Yeah. But I bring that up to say this, okay? Rarely do people. Okay, I just said AC Green played in 83 games. Mark West played in 83 games, okay? Look it up, okay? You're going to have to look it up. You can look this up. There was a guy by the name of Walt Bellamy, okay? Excellent player for the New York Knicks in the 60s. Got traded to the Detroit Pistons in that deal for Dave DeBusschere, okay? Which put the Knicks over the top as a championship contender because Willis Reed was playing out of position, okay, with Walt Bellamy being there. So the Knicks swung a deal to the Detroit Pistons, which allowed Willis Reed to go to center. They acquired Dave DeBusschere, and that just opened everything up for the New York Knicks. They made the trade during the 1969 season. They didn't win the championship that year, but the Knicks went on to win the championship the next year, 1970. Okay, so Walt Bellamy gets traded to the Pistons. Okay, you're not gonna believe this. You can look it up. Look it up. I kid you not. Walt Bellamy played in 88 games in the 1969 season. I kid you not. I kid you not. I read it. Walt Bellamy played in 88 games during the 1968-69 season. Okay? That's crazy. Okay? The man nearly played 100 games. Yeah, he played 88 games. Okay? And the reason, okay, so he played 35 games with the Knicks, okay? And he played 53 with the Pistons, okay? So, at the time that he was traded to the Detroit Pistons, okay, the Knicks had already played 35 games, okay? And the Pistons had only played 29 games, okay? So, the Pistons were like 5 or 6 games behind how many games the Knicks had played, okay? So, but yeah, Walt Bellamy, he played 35 games with the Knicks. He gets traded to the Pistons, okay? And he plays in 53 games with the Pistons, okay? That's just the craziness of, that was the NBA back in 1969. That was the NBA back in 1969. Okay, so Houston Rockets. Okay, they hold 2 winning streaks. Okay, one that people remember, and one that people do not remember. Okay, let's start with the one that everybody remembers. Okay, during the championship, during their first championship run of 1994, they started out the season 15-0. Okay, they started out the season 15-0, and they started out the season 22-1. Okay, they started the season 15-0, and overall they started out the season 22-1. Pretty damn impressive. And I remember when they were going for 15 in a row. They played the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. And the finals preview, okay? And the papers were writing about how the Knicks were going to stop their streak. The players were saying, Knicks, not in our house, yada, 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 yada. Rockets came in and kicked their ass. Rockets came in and kicked their ass, okay? And yeah, so the finals preview, yeah, went to the Rockets, okay? Yeah, they got their 15th victory by beating the New York Knicks, okay? Now let's go to the second streak that nobody remembers, okay? So it was the 2007-2008 season, okay? And the Rockets went on a run of winning 22 straight games, okay? Yeah. The Rockets won 22 straight games, okay? In the 2007-2008 season, okay? We all remember the Miami Heat winning 27 straight. We all remember the Lakers 33 straight games. And of course, we all know of the great teams, the 20-game win streaks, the 18-game winning streaks, okay, whatnot. But the Houston Rockets won 22 straight games in the 2007-2008 season, okay? The thing about it is nobody remembers that. I don't think anybody remembers that, okay? The reason why they don't remember that is probably because they were knocked out of the playoffs in the first round. Again. Yeah, so they win 22 straight, okay? And so they win 22 straight, okay? And guess who they play going for the 23rd straight win, okay? Guess who they play? Dun 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 dun. That's who they play. They won 22 straight, and now they're going for their 23rd straight win, and they come up against these guys right here, okay? And quite naturally, the Celtics won it in a blowout. Quite naturally, the Celtics won it in a blowout. 94-74 was the final score, which broke that 22-game win streak, okay? And, yeah. So, the win streak, everyone remembers. The win streak, nobody remembers. The Houston Rockets, okay? Okay, so, yeah, so I remember the Bulls. They won 12 straight to open the 1996-97 season, okay? And they started out the season 17-1 overall, okay? So they started out the season 12-0. Guess who their first loss came to? You guessed it, the Utah Jazz, 105-100 in Salt Lake City. Yep. The Bulls lost 105-100. They broke that 12-game winning streak, okay? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright, Alright, now. Alright, that's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am out of here. And God bless you.